For years, the relationship between Caitriona Balfe and Sam Heughan has been a topic that has made Outlander fans crazy, skeptical and endlessly embellished. They are the passionate Claire and Jamie Fraser on screen, and in real life, the unbelievable chemistry between the two has made the public always suspect that behind the spotlight is a real love story that has never been made public. But recently, in a rare interview with The Telegraph, Caitriona Balfe has publicly said it all for the first time. No beating around the bush, no hiding. And what she shared has made fans all over the world exclaim, "Unbelievable." "I've kept quiet for so long." Caitriona opened the conversation with a soft sigh, followed by a very Claire Fraser smile. Gentle, smart and strong. "I've kept quiet for so long," she said. "There are so many assumptions, theories, rumors about Sam and me. We have always kept quiet, not out of fear, but because we believe that some things are better kept to ourselves. But now, perhaps, it is time to say it all." The interviewer then simply asked, "What is your real relationship with Sam Heughan?" And Caitriona took a few seconds to consider. Then she said, without any hesitation, "I love him. But not in the way people think. Sam is a part of me. But we are not lovers." The statement immediately shook social media. Those who still firmly believed that Jamie and Claire are real in real life fell into a state of confusion, even anger. But Caitriona did not stop there. "Sam and I have a very deep connection. It goes beyond friendship, it goes beyond the definition of co-stars. We've been through 10 years together, crying, laughing, enduring the pressures of fame, and watching each other grow and change. We know each other very well. We may not talk every day, but I always know how he feels, just by looking into his eyes." Pausing for a moment, Caitriona continued softly, "We don't love each other like lovers. But we love each other like people who have been through the emotional trenches together. And that feeling, in my opinion, is more precious than normal love." Confession of times when they almost crossed the line. Most notably, Caitriona admitted for the first time, there were times when the two of them almost crossed the line. "Yes, we were drunk together. There were times when we were very close. Very close. But then I looked at Sam and knew, if we crossed that line, we would lose everything. The friendship, the trust, the admiration we had for each other. I couldn't risk that for a momentary emotion." She chuckled, her eyes glinting with regret. "Sam always said I was the rational one. Maybe it was true, because I was the one who said, no. And I don't regret that. I know he loved me, in his own way." Caitriona didn't shy away when asked if she thought Sam had ever loved her. "I think he did. And I do too. But love doesn't have to translate into a relationship. Sometimes it just has to be there, smoldering, persistent and hold you together without any strings attached." What touched Outlander fans the most was Caitriona's explanation of why they've always avoided talking about it directly. "We don't want to ruin the beautiful fantasy that the audience has for Jamie and Claire. We respect that. We appreciate that people believe in true love. But now I want you to understand, love comes in many forms. And sometimes, love doesn't need a name. Sam is my safe harbor, and I am his." Caitriona admitted that when her marriage went through rough patches, the first person she turned to was not her husband, but Sam. "He doesn't judge, he listens. With just one phone call, he can catch a flight just to sit next to me for a few hours. And I can do the same. I've traveled nearly 3,000 kilometers to see him when he was in crisis. There's an unspoken commitment between us. Wherever, whenever, the other needs me, I'll be there." The truth after 10 years of silence. At the end of the interview, Caitriona said something that melted everyone's heart. "If one day I encounter something I can't overcome, I will call Sam. He is the only one who can get me up. And if one day I lose my memory, I hope the first person I remember is him. And then, she smiled, her eyes lost in a faraway place. We don't need to make our love public, because keeping it quiet is what makes it last. The online community exploded. Hashtag Caitriona speaks and hashtag Sam and Kate truth immediately climbed to the top of Twitter worldwide. A fan commented, "We waited 10 years to hear this, and it's even more beautiful than a love confession." Another fan tearfully said, "I don't need them to be a couple. I just need to know that they're real, and that they love each other in their own way." And now I believe, the story between Caitriona and Sam has never been normal, but it's never been fake either. Finally, the truth has come out. And it's as beautiful as the story they've created together on screen for the past decade. After that shocking interview, the atmosphere across the international Outlander forums became heated. Excerpts from Caitriona Balfe's interview were shared everywhere, accompanied by emotional lines that were both emotional, bewildered and grateful. But what was even more surprising, Sam Heughan responded. Sam broke the silence with a handwritten letter. Just one day after the interview was published in The Telegraph, Sam Heughan's Instagram account posted a photo, a handwritten note, with a short caption. "She spoke, so will I." The content of the letter made fans choke up. 10 years is not a short time. And in those 10 years, I grew, broke, reborn, and found a friend I know I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Kate and I don't need to define our relationship. But if I had to choose a word, I would call her home. I loved her. I still love her, in a very personal, very quiet way. Not a passionate love that destroys. But a love deep enough to survive when we are no longer together. Just a few lines, but for fans, it was the quiet confirmation they had been waiting for years. Behind the scenes of the secrets that have never been revealed, after both main characters spoke up, many people on the Outlander crew also began to share the between-scenes moments when Sam and Caitriona were no longer Jamie and Claire, but themselves. A director who has been with the series since season 2 shared, "I used to see them sitting on the grass after filming, completely silent. Not saying anything, not touching each other, but the connection between them was so thick that you felt like you were witnessing something sacred." Another assistant director recalled, "One time, Kate hurt her back after a horse riding scene. She didn't tell anyone, didn't complain. But Sam knew. He quietly went over, got a heating pad, and put it behind her back while she was sleeping in the car. No one asked. He just knew, and did it." These small details, when added together, create a complete picture. Not a secret Hollywood romance, but a bond that goes beyond the usual boundaries. Things no one ever dared to ask. When asked why they never tried to give each other a chance, Caitriona answered honestly, "I think, if we had come together as a real couple, maybe we wouldn't have been able to be together until today." Because sometimes, romantic love will swallow up more precious things, like understanding, trust, and the ability to see the other person without trying to possess them. A spokesperson for Starz, the TV channel that produces Outlander, also admitted that, "We thought about promoting them as a real-life couple to increase ratings, but they always refused. They didn't want the relationship to be commercialized. It is that steadfastness that makes the public, despite being disappointed that they didn't come together, still unable to stop admiring them." A future without a name. After everything was revealed, Caitriona shared another thing that made fans tear up. "If one day, I leave the film set, leave the entertainment world, I will still keep in touch with Sam. Maybe we will meet at a small cafe in Skye. Maybe I will call him in the middle of the night and just say, 'I need a hug.' And I know he will be there." She paused for a moment and smiled. "Great love doesn't need a title. It just needs loyalty, presence and forgiveness." The quote became a viral quote in just a few hours, printed on collages, captioned in fan-made videos, and even tattooed on the wrists of some crazy fans. Fan reactions. Under the hashtag Sam and Kate Truth, a range of emotions were expressed. Speech balloon. I used to want them to be a couple. Now I want to learn how to love like them, without strings, without possessiveness, but deep enough to be irreplaceable. Speech balloon. We've been following an unnamed relationship for 10 years without realizing that that's what's magical. Speech balloon. Sam and Caitriona taught me that there are feelings that don't need marriage, that don't need boundaries, and that are eternal. Some critics even called this redefining love in an age of rumors and scandals, as the two artists chose to live authentically instead of creating a stereotypical image. What will happen next? With the final season of Outlander currently filming its final scenes, and speculation that this will be the end of Jamie and Claire, many are wondering, where will Sam and Caitriona go after the spotlight goes out? A source close to the pair said, they've been talking about a standalone film project, where they're not in love with each other. They want to tell a different story, a different kind of connection, and who knows, maybe it'll be a new journey, a reunion that's not what audiences expected, but one that's true to who they really are.